Okay, yesterday we were talking about Rosh Chodesh. This week Shabbos Mevarchim and Shabbos Bereshis. So we want to talk a little bit about Shabbos Mevarchim. Okay, now what does Shabbos Mevarchim do? Shabbos Mevarchim, the Shabbos before Rosh Chodesh, is the time when we get together in Shul and we announce when the Rosh Chodesh is going to be. Why don't we do it during the week? Because during the week people are busy, they're not always in Shul. Shabbos morning you have more people in Shul, so we want to announce when Rosh Chodesh is, that people shouldn't forget about Rosh Chodesh. Okay. Another thing is, because Bais Din used to proclaim when Rosh Chodesh was. So, because you can't do it the day of Rosh Chodesh, because again, not everybody comes to Shul, it might be too late. So we do it the Shabbos before. Okay? That's why you do it.
If your Shul is not going to have a lot of people on Shabbos during the week,
no, you still do it. The custom became already, but there's another reason for it. The second reason why you do Shabbos and Varchim, because my name is Barchim Kol Yom. Shabbos, the Zohar says, is a day that blesses the next week. Shabbos says a twofold thing. The Zohar says Shabbos elevates the entire previous week. Vayechulu Hashemayim Oret, it's a lesson of Kiloi and longing elevation. So Shabbos from one side elevates the entire previous week. From the opposite side, not opposite, but the next side, it blesses all the days of the week. So therefore, it blesses even the day of Rosh Chodesh, so we do it then. Now, even though, why do we have to announce when Rosh Chodesh like Bais Din did? Hillel, who was the grandson of the famous Hillel Anasi, he saw that eventually the real concept of smicha, not what's called today smicha, but the real samuch ish mipi ish from Moshe Rabbeinu, because the din was only a Bais Din that was anointed from Moshe Rabbeinu next. You know, only they were allowed to proclaim when Rosh Chodesh was. So so Hillel, the grandson of Hillel, saw that in future generations we're not going to have the real smicha. So therefore what he did was he set up a calendar for all times based on a 19-year rotation, basically, that in this 19-year rotation there's 12 regular years and 7 leap years. And then basically things equal out. Not exactly, so therefore sometimes Cheshvan has 2 days Rosh Chodesh, Kislev sometimes it's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, sometimes 1 day each, sometimes 1 and 1, whatever. The bottom line is, so even though Hillel already designated the calculation, that's what we rely on today, nevertheless, we want to do it anyway just for the remembrance of it. And therefore the din is that you have to do, whoever does Shabbos and Mevarchim has to do it standing, just like when Bais Din proclaimed which day was Rosh Chodesh, Bais Din had to stand. So therefore, you basically do it the same way they did it then.
Why did I have to say it in Yiddish?
No, that's not that's the Meilad of Dugun. 1 second. We're going to discuss that in a second. I mean, not why it's said in Yiddish, but okay. Okay, so there we have like this. Now how does it work? The shots or somebody else holds the Sefer Torah in their hand when you bench Rosh Chodesh. Now it's proper to know, as we mentioned yesterday, there's something called the Meilad HaLevana, when the moon is actually born, which is not necessarily the day of Rosh Chodesh. So it says like this, it's proper to know the moon, the time of the moon. Why? Just like Bais Din only proclaimed the Rosh Chodesh when 2 witnesses came to testify, so by announcing the Moiled, when the birth of the moon is, it's like the 2 Eidim came and said when Rosh Chodesh is, and then you sanctify the moon like Bais Din used to do on the other days. Why do we do it in Yiddish? It's what's called in English tradition. I'm sure in the time of the Gemara when they did the Meilah, they didn't do it in Yiddish. Maybe they probably did. Who didn't speak Yiddish then? I mean,
But somehow it hits the heart when it says in Yiddish.
because it's Mamalushan,
Yeah.
mother tongue. So that way you do it. Okay, so then in fact they used to make a soda when they, okay, whatever, that's not relevant now.
Let's play shofar.
No,
Blow the shofar. Rosh Chodesh.
I guess they like to blow the shofar. No, we don't do that.
Arab doesn't say that we have to, right?
We don't. It's like we don't. Okay, now in many nuschois of the Siddur, in Chabad we don't say it. We're not the only ones that don't say it. Yiratin, there's a Yiratin that it's a big Chazanish, the Chazanim waste 20 minutes with it. So they say the Yiratin, that Hashem should give us, Chaim Shal Aruch, Chaim Shal Shalom, Chaim Shal Panos. We say a similar thing in the minor Loshim when we go to the oil. So it's a Yiratin. So the Rebbe writes that we don't say it. In fact, the Aruch HaShulchan brings down, the Rebbe brings down the Aruch HaShulchan, but the Aruch HaShulchan brings down that he always wondered, how are you allowed to say that tefillah on Shabbos? There's a din that bakashas tzrochav, personal needs, you're not allowed to ask on Shabbos. That's why we don't say the whole Shemoneh Esrei that has all our personal needs. So it's forbidden to do bakashas tzrochav on Shabbos unless if it's a set already tefillah. That's why, when you take out the Sefer Torah on Yom Tiv, after Vayibin Tzah, you say Hashem Hashem, and then you say that Yibbeinu Shalom. But on Shabbos, we don't say it. Why don't we say that Yibbeinu Shalom on Shabbos? One of the reasons we don't say it is because it's asking for personal requests. And you're not allowed to ask personal requests. In fact, so the Aruch HaShulchan said, it's a wonder to me how they ever say that tefillah. In fact, some Sefer also didn't say that tefillah. This is what they bring down. And our meaning is that we don't say the Yiratzin the Rebbe writes, because it's, again, is bakasha tzrach, we're asking for our needs, and we don't do that on Shabbos.
Even if
What?
Even if Rosh Hashanah is on Shabbos.
No, Rosh Hashanah Shabbos is different. Yeah, that's Rosh Hashanah. It's a different time. Okay, now, okay, you don't read it. Okay, now the month of when you bench Rosh Chodesh, you don't say Over Rachamim. Now the tefillah Over Rachamim is really a mini Yisker. Like we have a Yom Tov, we say Yisker. Over Rachamim, it says in Shchunorach, is Askaras Neshamis of the Kodeshim, of people that died. Yinkim Dama V'Decha Shafach, the whole Over Rachamim. So the prayer we don't say it anytime we bless Rosh Chodesh. The only time it says in Shchunorach we do say this Over Rachamim when you bench Rosh Chodesh. So there's two opinions in Shchunorach. One opinion says Iyar and Sivan you do, because that's Sfira, and there are a lot of Gzeiris by Yidden in the month of Iyar and Sivan. But Alter Rebbe Paskins, the opinion that says, no, you don't say it in Iyar. The only time you say it is when you bless Rosh Chodesh Sivan. When you bless Rosh Chodesh Sivan, then we say Over Rachamim, because there was a lot of people, Jewish blood was shed by the Gzeiris, the various the killings during the Jewish history. So therefore we say it then.
No, but when you say Yisker, like this time in the past,
When we say Yisker, do you say Over Rachamim or not?
you say it.
So the Friedrich Rebbe writes, it's brought down, they asked the Friedrich Rebbe, do people that don't say Yisker, do they say Over Rachamim? And he answered basically what's called Me'echatese, meaning, no. So more or less the minig is, unofficial minig is that we say it, even those people that don't go up a Yisker. Those people that say it, Yisker for sure say it, it's part of Yisker. Okay, next.
You say Kaddish after Rabbi?
What?
You say Kaddish after Yisker. I saw somebody saying that.
Not in our circles.
Huh?
Not in our circles. Okay, now like this. Every Shabbos Mevarchim, there's a takon of the previous Rebbe, and the Rebbe spoke about it always, and he was very emphatic about it, that we get up early and we say the whole Tillim. If there's mourners, you say Tillim between each book. Now, if you notice in the Tillim, there's between each sefer, there's a Yiratzin that you say. Okay? B'chol sefer Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, B'Reish, B'Shmeis, B'Midbar, Vayikra B'Midbar. So, do we say it or don't we say it? So the Rebbe writes, basically, that at least the one that says Kaddish, if somebody's saying Kaddish between each sefer, then the one that says Kaddish should say it, because they need to make a break between this form to have a separate Kaddish for each book. But basically, our minhag is unofficially, because that's what the Rebbe did. If you don't say Kaddish, then we don't say the Yiratzin. Unless maybe you're a Chazan, somebody else saying Kaddish, but otherwise we ourselves don't say the Yiratzin. The only time we saw clearly the Rebbe said the Yiratzin was he said Kaddish. When he didn't say Kaddish, he didn't say the Yiratzin.
You don't say the Yiratzin by yourself, if you don't say
Again, you could, but again, usually our minhag is that if you say Kaddish, you say it. You don't say Kaddish, you don't say it. Okay, now, like the Rebbe says, the Kaddish says Kaddish. Now, you have to finish the whole Tillim every Shabbos and Varchim. And he brings down, it's relevant to him, his children, and his grandchildren, for all generations to come.
If there's no field, and at the end it finishes.
If at the end somebody could say Kaddish. Yeah. Officially it says like this. You say Tillim, at the end you say Kaddish. If there's a chiyuv, then you say it between each one. So at the end, even if there's no chiyuv, the minhag is somebody says Kaddish.
Say with a minyan. You should say with a minyan.
Tillim, Shabbos, Varchim. Everything's better with the minyan. But what happens? What? Oh, so 1 second. Says here he brings down. There was a guy. I remember him. Anyway, he asked the Rebbe in Yechidus that he lived far away from the Rebbe, from Crown Heights, and it took him a long time to walk. So what should he do with Tillim? Because he doesn't want to miss davening with a minyan. No, so the Rebbe said to him, he could say Tillim walking in the street, and the Rebbe says it doesn't matter if it's not in the proper order of Tillim. As long as you eventually say the whole Tillim, that's what he brings down. And the Rebbe told him, you could say Tillim between the Sichos by the Verbringen, and the Rebbe writes, there's 24 hours in the day that you could say Tillim. So, from a personal thing, my mother asked the Rebbe years ago if she can, it took her a long time to say Tillim, and she wanted to know if she could start Friday night, and the Rebbe told her she could start Friday night to say Tillim. Obviously, ideally, if you could say the whole thing Shabbos day, you're supposed to say Shabbos day. But if not, you can start it Friday night.
Is it better to start earlier and finish together with the minyan in the morning, or start in the morning but then finish after?
No, because there's a thing over here. What happens? Wrong page. He brings down over here. Yeah. What happens if you didn't finish? This is not for the big chassidim, the holy chassidim that come late and daven late and hallow and all that. It's not for them. What happens if you didn't finish Tillim and the minyan is davening? Do you finish Tillim and then daven, or do you daven and finish Tillim later? So Rabbi Zalman Shimon in the Sefer, he brings that down over here also, says it's not even a question. You daven with the minyan, and then you finish Tillim later. They know the big chassidim don't keep Shulchan Aruch. They're above Shulchan Aruch.
Is it better to start before and finish?
What do you mean start before?
Like Friday night, it takes you 2.5 hours, 3 hours to finish.
So you get up earlier Shabbos morning. Oh, that was brilliant.
4 o'clock.
Get up earlier Shabbos morning, and then you finish.
Can you continue afterwards?
So Shabbos, it's not a good idea to finish Tillim, but somewhere it says that a Rebbe told somebody that if you didn't finish it Shabbos, you can finish it after Shabbos. Yeah, whatever. But as close to Shabbos as possible. Somewhere I remember reading that the Rebbe answered somebody that If you didn't finish on Shabbos, you could say it after Shabbos. But Chatchil, you're supposed to finish it, start on Shabbos, finish on Shabbos, and do it right. Okay, it's also a day of Verbrengen. Shabbos Mevarchim should be a Verbrengen, either in the shul or in the houses, whatever it is. Okay, yeah, he says they should make a Verbrengen. It's interesting, when the Rebbe got married, or first, when the Rebbe's older brother-in-law got married, the Rashag, who married the older daughter of the Frierdiker Rebbe, so the Frierdiker Rebbe told him, there's a lot of conditions, but one of the things he said, he should always chazer a maimer shalosh shudas. So every year, every day, Shabbos in 770, there was a shalosh shudas, and the Rashag would upstairs, and the Rashag chazer a maimer. And the Rebbe was, no, some guys did. The old guys, like the 90-year-olds. And the Rebbe was told, amongst other conditions also, that he should verbring every Shabbos from Mevarchim. So since then, the Rebbe would verbring every Shabbos, even before he became Rebbe, he would verbring every Shabbos from Mevarchim because his father had told him that was the condition, that he should verbring every Shabbos from Mevarchim. Oh, anybody saying Kaddish?